I'm stumped. I had some videos come across my screen, and I'm seeing people talking about just so many topics that are just I'm mind blown. Like, people are talking about the wrong stuff right now. Like, if a major catastrophic event were to transpire right now, how many people don't have enough food and water? Or what about, like, okay, the kids out of school right now? Are the kids going to daycare? Are families do they have a plan put in place if they can't go from their home to the daycare center to pick up their children? I know it's a lot of non-believers in the States. Even a lot of the believers don't even really believe. So, you know, it's going to be a lot of people with a lot of hurt feelings when this comes down the pipeline. Y'all over here talking about Diddy and the parties. Everybody knows about that stuff. Where you been? Why is this brand new news to you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, because we've been worrying about the little ones for how long now? Come on. It's part of the satanic agenda. It just, man, it doesn't make no sense to me how priorities between y'all, most people out here, is so screwed up. Y'all have no priorities. You can't even take 5 minutes to learn something either. It behooves me. Some of y'all are stuck in some of the most demonic oppression there is possible. And you walk in that misery, and you try to bring everybody else with you, you know? You focus on other people's pain, and you don't stand up. You don't do nothing about it. So, if you read the scriptures, do I need to read them to you? I probably do, huh? Because y'all out here don't even know what's going on half the time. Diddy. You worried about him because of what? Are y'all going to stand up in the courts? You standing for Allie? She's been suffering a long time. Are you standing for her? What about the 90s Nation News? Do you share their material? Hello? No, but hey, I'm just about as ugly as Arnold Schwarzenegger, so there you go. That's something for you. I mean, life is, it's not a game, you know. I mean, yeah, let's have fun, right? Let's enjoy life. I get that part. But it's hard to enjoy when you see so many people just doing it ignorantly. It's kind of like, you got reports right now coming out of people who smoke green are smoking fentanyl. You can't even get regular green anymore in the U.S. without worrying about whether you're going to freaking OD. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord's temple will be established. And we're there. We are there. It's sad. What's going on? I'm so overwhelmed. I could read oh Lord have mercy. They literally right in front of everybody's faces tell you exactly what they're doing, but they try to play it off as if they're, got some new scientific study out, or some new finding that, that some old, someone that they said was famous may have, told us about this a long time ago. And oh my gosh, look, what he said is true. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. People believe these things, but don't believe when someone's trying to tell them exactly what's going on. Like, he prophesied that the Hoover Dam was going to come down. The DON himself The notice of disposition was about a second 911 event. We already know what happened with the first one. So then, and then it comes right together with the whole Deagle report. And people are over here talking about Diddy. Do you know, I know so many Americans right now that they don't have no food in their refrigerator. None. None. They go out every single day to go get it. Okay. What then when you're surrounded by volcanic smog? And what is knowing about Diddy going to help you in that process? I mean, how are you going to get connected with your family? How are you going to make sure your loved ones are safe? How do you even know that, like, wherever you are, whether you're in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Indiana, we're one step, that's it, one step away from ML, if you know what that is. It's an acronym for something they've been wanting to put people on for a very long time. Oh, well, thank you for saying don't be so hard on yourself. I'm not hard on myself. I'm just realistic. It's all good. I'm not mad. I'm so not mad. I am not mad. I'm not disappointed either. It won't be all this nonsense. You know what? I can come out. You got people in the streets right now. It just blows my mind. I have so many thoughts going on right now because you got so many people in the streets right now that are not prepared at all for anything. And immediately they're going to panic and go out in this nonsense. And they ain't going to come back. It's just not going to come back. There are going to be families that are separated for a period of time that are not going to really know what to do. Communications are going to be disrupted. And it blows my mind that I can sit out here and say, look, guys, there's this whole plan. Like a big one. That they totally planned out. Totally. And they're going to, when they do it, it's going to be big. It's going to be real big. Nick Thomas mentioned it. I did the live, but they cut part of the live. They reconnected it so they could steal that first half of it. Of course, because what? Because I made sense. They don't like that shit. They don't like when you make sense. And, oh, by the way, that just might keep one of the 227 projected people who's supposed to be gone. It might keep one of them alive. They don't want that. They don't want that. So what then? Shall we talk about Diddy? Is that what we should do? You think that's what we should do? We should let's forget about everything. Let's talk about his litigation. Because that helps us so much. I mean, after all, we got all these survivors out here talking and telling their stories, but most 99.9%, 99999% of the people do not support those survivors. They call them crazy. They do not try to back them up. They do not try to understand their story in its entirety. They do not try to keep up with those people. None of that. Some of them they get with them and then they do keep up with the story, but you wouldn't find them trying to say, hey, look, Governor of California, we see this citizen of yours is being stalked by some rogue group and we got an eye on such and such. Nope, couldn't do that. Because that would make sense, After all, I mean, that's probably because more than 80-90% are guilty. Guilty! Guilty is charged. Of what? A little of everything. Everything. On down from, the Fenny being in the marijuana, all the way down to the sinkholes. These sinkholes opening up coast to coast. They're getting bigger. They're getting deeper. And, when you got someone like Nick Thomas reporting, Richie from Boston just did a video on it. The whole future map of the USA, the thing that I talked about 5 or 6 years ago. Oh, friends, it's not that crazy because they're talking about it. And I don't even know these people. Like, they're talking about it. Why? Because it's real. Like, hello. And I get that when I get to talking about my rhetoric, I can see the connections. I see the puzzle. I can see where there's all these relationships from poets on down to the railway and the oil and gas sector, and you know it's one big web. I was just thinking earlier today, the intraweb, because it is intricate and it is a web, and it all connects, all of it, through just the movies, everything. There's nothing that doesn't connect. And the fact that people can't see this, of course you can't see it, because you got everyday average citizens out here trying to talk to you about stuff like Diddy. Dude, have you even seen the dude's picture? Is that the same dude? I could look at his pictures and be like, damn, they cloned that guy? Because that ain't even the same dude. People's ear shapes don't change. Their eye structure don't change. The shape of their head doesn't change. You might get skinny. The shape of my head ain't changed. I got skinnier, and I'm a lot more wrinkled, but my shape of my face has not changed. Those are definitive features that people have. Is that even the real Diddy? Is that the first Diddy that came out? I mean, how do we even know? Look at the pictures. So then you get into all this other rhetoric. That's useless, man. Useless. I mean, what do you think they did when everybody was eating pizza? Fox News had a report many years ago, and I will never forget this, where they said that pizza, that thing that opens and closes, well, for algorithm purposes, well, that thing right there, let me just point it out. It's false. It's fake. They're making that up. Even though you could literally go to the 3-letter agency website where they have the depictions of what may indicate P3DO. And a lot of the things that were associated to that pizza was literally there. Oh, and never mind the fact that the files on Miss Clinton, okay, had come out where, Podesta, this was back around Fox time. When I brought it up, people say, now that Diddy's been implemented, you got your everyday average Joe Schmo and Mary Sue coming out to talk to you about how they need to do something in that department. Honey, it's late in the game. Okay? It's way late. What are you going to do when there is seismic activity off of the West Coast and in the Midwest? What are you going to do? What if you're out running errands when it happens? What if your kid is over their friend's house when it happens? Or they're at grandma's house when it happens? What are you going to do? You going to run out and go get them? I mean, because, at the end of the day, you go do that, you ain't making it home. I mean, but y'all wouldn't know this because you're not looking at these topics, these subjects, these things that are of important matter. People like Nick Thomas is not coming out. Richie from Boston is not coming out saying these things simply because they like talking. That's the thing. Hi, Tux. No, you didn't, because I didn't do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. But, I feel like screaming sometimes. The ground trembles where I'm at. But the ground has been trembling, because I was 80 miles from the New Madrid, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years. And I lived by there for around 3 years, I guess you could say. And I felt the activity. I even bought those balls, the pendulum balls that swing forth, ding, 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 so that whenever something happened, you could see it. And I would look at it. I'd go, look, you could tell it is. The balls are moving, ding, ding, tapping each other. And that fell and got all messed up somehow. Um, but yeah, the seismicity has been going on. But this is different. This time it's different. This time, mainstream media is warning about it. People are talking about this, and other people aren't. And it blows my mind that so many people, there are so many of you guys out here in the world who quite literally couldn't hear the truth if it smacked you in the head, freaking stamped stupid on your forehead, and, like, quite literally tried to just take everything from you simultaneously. It wouldn't be until everything is completely gone that you would go, wait a minute, I think there was a clue there somewhere. Okay, we literally do not have to be clueless. We don't have to be. You can leave the Diddy stuff alone, because I'm here to tell you that, like I said, is that even the real dude? So if the guy Diddy was having parties, but that's his clone taking the fall for everything, then is Diddy really paying the price? Have you ever looked at the world's population list? I mean, people got to get with the program here, because there's like something transpiring right now. Right now. It's opening up 60 feet freaking tunnels. It is. Oh, wow. Did they do that again? Hold on, I'm going to screenshot this because it shows that I'm in here. Somebody said they turned it black. Of course they would. Of course they would. Why would you not? Why would you not turn it black? Let's say this. I got a big mouth. You guys know I got a big mouth. And I'm kind of angry. I'm righteously angry actually, because every time I read your guys' stuff, I'm like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a geologist. I'm none of that. Oh, that was your text from live earlier. Well, I just got that right now. Just now. That just now came through. That's why I screenshot that. But anyways. And okay. Let me rewind. Let's rewind back 6 years ago. Maybe this will give some context into why I'm so upset. I wrote an article maybe 6 years ago. They messed that article up, by the way, but it's okay. I wrote an article around 6 years ago that said, how do newscasters or media or journalists look at themselves in the mirror? And I posed that question. How can you look at yourself in the mirror when you do the research if you are a critical, logical thinker? There are all these questions that arise within these topics. I'm not a geologist. I'm not scientific in nature, any way, shape, or form. But enough where I was like, when I started reading it, I was like, wait, there's a hole here. And then I would read something else. I'm like, there's another hole. And then I went to read something else, and you would think it was totally not related at all. And there was another hole. Like I'd be reading about the green energy. And then I even joined the Green News Network because I wanted to see what they were talking about. And all them guys are completely lost. Lord have mercy, they're so lost. And I wrote this thing, and I was going into detail about all the games that were involved, all the different people that you would be able to see that were involved in this scheme, this Ponzi scheme, because that's exactly what it is. It's a whole Ponzi scheme. It's like the mafia done came up with this brilliant plan to take down like one of the 3-letter agencies. And somewhere in between, there was this opposing group. There really was never opposing shit in the first place, because all, when you dug a little bit deeper, all had interest investments within the same corporations, energy, climate, green, sustainable development. When the climate change, you got all these climate issues. That's related to green, the green. Where do you think AOC came from? She's a puppet, a face to give something a look, some so that people can view that very thing based on the eyes of, or based off of the view that they got from that look. And perception is in the eyes of the beholder. So they cover all avenues. They give you Alex Jones. They give you uh, Stu Peters. They give you Tucker Carlson. They give you AOC. They give you Candace Owens. They give you all these people, right? Well, me, I'm just reading. I'm seeing holes. And then I'm seeing people, faces in these holes. And I'm listening to the things that they're saying. And I'm like, in the scope of what I see, in terms of like a hard, huge 9-second 911, I then have to pose the question of, well, what's all this other stuff for? And I go, oh my gosh, it's to keep people from coming to the knowledge of the truth, keep people from understanding the things that are actually transpiring around them. I bet you right now, if I had 100 people in here right now, I would bet anyone money that I could get out of 100 people. I bet 4 people out of 100 could go outside and look at their foundation of their home and around their home and find some problems with it that they had not seen before. It's shifting already. The reports are in. And I've been talking about this 5 or 6 years. How important is Diddy going to be when you have smog, acid rain? Do you realize that in some parts of the world, the winter really didn't stop until really, it's just stopping. They were having snow in April, late April. Wasn't anticipating maybe in a whole lot better, but the cold is just now going dissipating. So now, here we have it. The winters are getting longer, right? Well, what if they could throw you into a nuclear winter? Because according to this, Chernobyl and Fukushima ain't got shit on what's coming. And I've talked about this. I've talked about what's on the Wande Fuka, or no, I'm sorry, in Yucca Mountain. Forgive me. And then there's some stuff out in Texas, some radiological device material. And there's also some off at a San Andreas Fault. If you read biblical text, Wormwood is talking about, people they alive from the water itself. Well, you see what Fukushima did to people? And who out here is prepared for it? These very people I'm finding talking about these topics, it's like, let's stop a moment. Let's really evaluate here, guys. Really, let's evaluate here. And what are we going to evaluate? Whether the topics that people are engaging in are topics worth engaging in. Because what value does it hold on your life? Here's the deal. I get it. Let's save the children. Absolutely. You see something, say something. Absolutely. Any time of day, every day, all day. Pray for our children too, because it takes a nation to raise children. We should be praying for them kids, which I do all the time. But let me ask you something. Is talking about Diddy and whether he's guilty and what Jaguar Wright said about Ali Carter, how does that help? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How does it help? And then if you're so distracted and you don't have you have no clue over the changes in the landscape around you right now, does that affect you? So I'm asking, does it affect you? Because this rhetoric, this stuff that's coming out right now, again, again, 5 or 6 years ago, I began warning of something that was coming to the States that they had prepared for. You go through my videos, you can see the last short I uploaded. Go look at the titles on those environmental reports. Go read them. Event 201 wasn't a joke, was it? So everybody says, "Oh, my life changed in this time." Not really. Not really. Your life had changed a long time ago. Little did you know. I mean, I realize a lot of people are just completely unaware to it. But yeah, people's lives changed a long time ago. But 2019 is when they told you you're going to do as we tell you to do, and most of humanity submitted. And when something happens down in the States, who's going to take care of our elderly out here? What about the children? What if you got children that's at a daycare center or something, and their parents are out here? And when what I'm talking about, I mean, do you think the people that was stuck in the building, one of the towers, when they fell, do you think that they were able to make it to their kids? What if their kids were in the building? Do you think that if Diddy had happened right prior, because the money that was missing in the federal whatever, all that money from the Pentagon in for the budget, okay, all them trillions were gone. If we talked about it, was it going to save any of the lives in the building that day? No, but somebody had intel. Somebody had intel. And I'll tell you, Bill Cooper, what do you think Bill Cooper was doing? Like, I'm basically doing the same thing Bill Cooper was doing. Bill Cooper was going out, warning everybody that that was coming. He knew. He told everyone. He got on the radio stations. If you don't know that, holy Moses. There's certain things that I know people ain't awake fully until they know certain things. And that's one of them, because he was telling people. He's like, yo. And there were people that knew, because when the report, they did multiple documentaries. And these documentaries stated that there were people who reportedly felt like they shouldn't go into work that day. Why do I talk to you about what they're writing in the papers? When I did a live earlier, I was sitting here talking about the article that came out of the Smithsonian. It's talking about the divided people of the land, because Chinese and black culture, I guess, merged or something, and now they've got some roots there. It's just all telegraphing nonsense. Telegraphing right in front of our faces, saying, hey guys, like, we're ready for this thing. Absolutely ready. I showed a 2021 blog post that I had where they said they were going to do this by 2025. I thought the earthquake would have happened by now, by the way. I'm going to keep it all the way real. But 2025 was a date they were pointing to, and I was talking about WAR. Little did I realize in 2021 was that the cooperation, the agreement. If our MIC is heavily damaged, dude, y'all, there's a FTN part of the puzzle. In the puzzle, there's this puzzle piece that says FTN. If you go look up FTN in the acronym dictionary, it's forget the Navy. That's one of them. The work I talk about would be NAVY in the first place. That'd be one of the people that would be sitting in this live right now watching me. There is intelligence behind this whole thing. And it gave all kinds of names, all kinds of big names at that. People that you should trust, people that I would have trusted, And I guess sometimes wonder if people like employed at the USGS, if maybe they're victims of their own ignorance, or if they're in on it and they've got like some, like if the movie is true where they've got like this bunker they could go hide in. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that there are multiple channels coming out, and the rhetoric that should be going on right now is how are we going to take care of our old folks in the city? How are we going to ensure that our children are safe in the city? Because didn't they say when Maui happened, wasn't there a bunch of missing kids afterwards? If people had got a heads up that Maui was going to happen, do you think they would have protected the children? See, we have to be active and not talking. There has to be some kind of action, you know? And yeah, like I absolutely get worked up. I'm so worked up because I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I don't know if you guys understand what I see, the level of intel I have seen into for the last 5 years. And they talk about this stuff right in front of your faces, right in front of my face, every day, all the time. But it gets more nefarious than people believe. Look, how do you think they're getting rid of the little ones? How do you think? How do you think they're freaking auctioning them? Huh? How? I was on a live the other day. And that really hurts. It does. I was on the live the other day. And Tux asked a question. Brought up a memory. And I looked up the name that would have been associated to the question he asked. And I won't forget when I saw the name and what it was associated with, and I was just like, I don't even know what to do with this shit. Because it's pure evil. What I know it's related to. And the fact that he asked, which is CT, I don't know if you know what that means, but you can look it up. There's an acronym dictionary. We've been kind of talking about it already, but CT. And he asked a question about it, and I said, I don't know, maybe I remember that boy's name, and I put in the sports that boy was associated to, and what comes up? But an article literally talking about trafficking. I don't know if you know how heavy that is to know how they're doing this, how they're pulling it off. To have all that intel and not to be able to do anything about it. That's a heavy freaking weight to carry around, I can tell you that. But, it says, with much wisdom comes much sorrow. And I wanted wisdom. And I definitely can agree with a lot of sorrow comes with it. Because once you start learning about it, you're just like, you can't unlearn it. You can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Using stats for CT. All these, they're gone. They're gone. On our watch, on our land. We're over here just praising people. Oh, yeah, you got a nice education at Harvard. Oh, kudos to you. Kudos to them. They're sitting at the top right now writing these articles talking amongst each other saying they're too stupid to understand. Just like that guy Carl, whatever his name was, he said, they got one big club and we're just not in it. What was his name? Charles. I forget. I had to blow my nose. The possibilities of bringing up targeting or trafficking when you look up a boy's name next to baseball, that's zero. There's no odds for it, okay? All right? None. That just told me, it solidified it. It just put that I kept this channel. I told people I ain't doing this no more. I ain't coming out. I ain't talking because I can't. Because they won't let me. They won't allow me to provide you guys the evidence. They won't, and I don't care whether you believe me or not. I know I gotta stand before God, and God is going to quite literally judge me for every word I've ever said. And if I am lying, I know I shall be judged. But I see this. I kept this channel. I said, okay, I'm not going to do this. But I've seen it. I saw it then. I knew I did. I put out the evidentiary pieces, of evidence anyways. And I just did it alone. But for a reason, I kept this channel. I did not erase it. I didn't take it completely down. And one of the reasons is because I knew in my heart I would see the final signs and that I would be able to come out and talk to people. I really don't want to get on here and talk to anyone because most people are living in la la land and not able to, pay attention to the things that are happening around them. And then they misconstrue everything because I just sat here and said, oh, you don't want to worry about the Diddy case because what good is it going to do? So somebody else is going to run around here and start saying, look, that girl's got problems. She's not worried about the children. Lord have mercy. When this occurs, and you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. We're all going to feel it. We're all going to feel this. There's not a soul on earth that is not going to feel this. I think the bride of Christ is going to go home, and you can laugh at me all you want. I studied it on my own, and I do believe there is biblical evidence proving that Jesus is going to basically enter the solar system and take his bride. That's quite literally the evidence. But I'm going to digress on that because I am not a teacher. I'm not a teacher. I am saying, however, that everything I've ever said was true, and it's been proving itself. And when mainstream media comes out and starts talking about the things like the possibility of the axial seamount just at the same time that Nick Thomas is talking and Richie from Boston did a video, dude, I'll give you key terms. Let me give you key terms to write them down. You know what? I'll do some shorts. I'll screenshot them. I'll do some shorts, screenshot them so that you can see the articles that you need to go and read. And do them in shorts. Look at the shorts. It's like Event 201. It's exactly like Event 201. Event 201 happened just right prior to CV19. Just right prior. When Bill Cooper was telling everybody, hey guys, there is something planned for the center. He knew. That's why they gunned him down in his driveway, in his front yard. He died telling everybody to be aware, to look around, to notice that there was something else going on out here. People didn't want to listen. If we were such good people that we want to do the right thing, we want to help people out, why didn't we help Bill when he was coming out telling everybody? Because nobody believed him. He was just a crazy old conspiracy theorist. Okay. So,
when this comes down the pipeline, I just want to know, the ones with kids, where's your kids going to be at? And have you ever heard of what volcanic smog does to the lungs? Do you know how long you should wait before you should go out into that? Do you think you could visit your local GOV website and find out? You think they'll give you those warnings? Because I'll tell you what, even if you aren't a believer, by the time that happens, by the time your bones get done rattling from that, you're going to go, holy shit. Holy hell. It was true. It was true. It was true. It is true. These warnings coming out, I'm like, holy Moses. I've been waiting on this to happen. I've seen God's grace in this. I really have. I have seen God's mercy. I have seen his love. Wow. I'm like, oh God, my heart is sick, Lord. Please make my heart right in your eyes. Because he loves people so much that he gave us time. He gave us time to repent. He gave us time to come together. He gave us time to, do what we were designed to do. And that was to stand up for one another. That was to be there for each other. Did you know that love itself believes all things? The world's taught you, don't believe, they even did, don't believe I don't know if you remember that hip hop song, but don't believe the hype. Yeah. Anyways, so whatever the conversation is out here, hey, so be it. I'm going to keep coming out. I'm going to keep talking about it, because if I came out and I said, hey, yo, you got an 8-ball? I bet like 10 people would come running. Oh, what are you talking about, girl? I'm trying to hear you. I got to hear what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Okay, uh-huh. But the moment you start talking about, man, some volcano's going to be blowing. It's a big earthquake getting ready to hit. People like, that's so boring. Come on, man. Let's go talk about Diddy. Let's do that. Because maybe we can take his clone down. And maybe somewhere along the lines, that guy... How does anybody even know that Diddy's really a real dude? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Because the way the world has lied to us anymore, that could be like Tupac Shakur in a freaking prosthetic mask. I mean, who even knows? That could be freaking Medusa's daughter or something. I don't know. All I know is that the delusion is massive anymore. Like, they talk about Joe. Gotta know where old Joe is, right? Okay. Joe has 2 different ear types. He's got 2 different eye types. The dude does not look the same as the normal dude. Hey, I look different too, but you can tell on me. You can tell I look rough. That's alright. My ears didn't change. My spacing between my eyes didn't change. The shape of my face has not changed. It's not the same dude. But we're still about those things that, at the end of the day, they're fillers. That's what they are, fillers. So they can take you away from the things that are real, the things that are true. We should be talking about Jesus' second coming. You know that? Instead, y'all out here, everybody I come across, y'all got some dumb shit to say like, God, and I said G-O-T, by the way. G-O-T, got damn. But it sounds like G-O-D, right? Because that's what they are saying. I'm just saying it so that I can express that even the got, it doesn't sound right. But that's not everybody's language anymore. Everybody wants to talk like that. It behooves me. We have fallen so far from the grace of God as a people. It's disgusting. You got grown men out here who's, hitting on little girls. Little girls out here selling themselves to these old men. And people just are normalizing this stuff like it's okay. Oh, that's normal, She's old enough to make her decisions. No. She is, you're right. But we are also old enough to look at the times and to be able to see that there is something going on. And that people don't come out, like I'm saying, a second 911. I just told you the dude that warned of the first 911 got gunned down in his front yard. Are y'all keeping up with me here? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I'm always wondering if the world understands the enormity of the things that I talk about. Because when someone can look at me and go, oh my God, she looks like shit, you'd look like shit too if you got hit by DEWs all the time from drones. You would too. But I also know you probably couldn't handle it. Yep, we know that. You probably couldn't handle it. You'd be getting zapped, bam, zapped, bam. I got burns on me and everything from this crap. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to handle it. You'd probably go, phew. I've learned to deal with it. I've learned to live with it. It's a part of my life. But no weapon formed against me will prosper. I shall not die, but live and declare the works of the Lord. I don't care how rough I'm looking. I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Looks are very deceiving. So, with that being said, people need to order their conversations right in this nation. Y'all are talking about the wrong shit. Just absolutely the wrong shit. I'm scrolling through social media and I'm like, the conversations, it's just, look, where are y'all going to get your food from? That's where are you going to get food from? The ports were empty. Do you know how to pray and ask God to feed you? Do you know how to pray and ask God to feed 5,000 people with a loaf of bread? And if you don't, then there's a topic you probably should be talking about. Because that's what you need. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need faith like Moses. And some of y'all out here are going to just be cursing God like it's all God. It's all God. There's thousands of us warning. Thousands. All the time. I've been waiting for 5 or 6 years on I got so many platforms. Come on. I know my file's big. I know it. And I ain't mad. I know I get in trouble for it all the time. They're like, oh, she's talking to the wrong people. Let me fly over her and zap her again today. Oh my gosh, dang. And that shit hurts, let me tell you. I got zapped the other night. I was laying in the bed. I woke up. It was like 3:35. My back hurt so bad. I mean, it was clenched. It was like a Charlie horse was running straight up my upper back. I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. And it's not a joke. It's not a joke. I mean, they could, hey, look, they can't unalive me, obviously. It didn't say that I wasn't going to suffer. I wasn't going to endure things, right? So I ain't mad for the suffering. But I'm going to take the stance that William Bill Cooper took, which was, it's sitting at the door. It's already occurring, y'all. Your conversations need to change. It's like I tell my sons, do you guys have a plan? I know they ain't trying to hear me because they don't like responding to that question. Do you have a plan? So you know what's going to happen, right? My hard-headed children have heard me talk about this for over 6 years. It's going to get you shaken. Their body is going to tremble. The first thing in their mind is the fact that mom had told them 7 to 10 times every year. Have your house in order. Make sure you're talking to God. When the ground shakes, make sure you repent. You know, these things. It's going to happen any day. Be prepared. Make sure you have food and water. Have a plan. Because volcanoes go off on the West Coast. Look it up, you guys. Look it up. 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 Look up the damage it could do to the lungs. Your lungs could crystallize within seconds. Just being outside in the explosion. What will you do if you're in your vehicle? How are you not going to breathe that when you're in your vehicle? Your vehicle won't drive very far in that. If you are in the area in which that all that smog and dust and whatever ash falls, your car won't be able to run. What are you going to do then? You just going to think of, I mean, it's okay if you have a Holy Spirit and you're waiting on Him. That's exactly what I say do. But if you don't, you don't believe in all this stuff, what are you going to do? Like, I know me. I'm trusting in God. He's going to tell me what to do. I've already bought the rice. I've already bought the beans. Okay? I went traveling the U.S. with all kinds of food. Like, oh my gosh, I moved so much food. Okay? I'm big on the make sure you got water. And I talk to everybody about this. Everybody that I know. Everybody's close to me. So I strongly encourage, if you don't have a relationship with Christ, that you get one today. If you do trust Him, keep your eyes on Him. He will lead you through it, and I do know that. But if you don't, when the ground shakes and trembles, you're going to be a mess. You're not prepared. I got people that are saying, we need to come together. You should have said that 2.5, 3 years ago. You guys needed a plan. Now it'll be scrambled, barely put together. Anyone who remembers it probably won't remember it in the panic of things. When large amounts of people come together to try to help each other, we see that is like an operation, a corporate operation. They have leaders, drill leaders, instructors, multiple people. They all know their role. And that is so that it could play out seamlessly, just like they did with Event 201. The same thing needs to be happening in our neighborhoods. I'm just asking, a big earthquake and a volcano blows in and it's really bad, and maybe you got 15 minutes. Maybe you got 15 minutes before the debris hits your area, right? And let's say your mom and dad live 20 minutes away and they're elderly. As soon as you heard that, would you jump into your car and try to make it there in less than 15 minutes so that you could be there for your parents in the middle of this? What if you have a kid and your kid is over at the grandparents' house, and what are you going to do then? I mean, have you thought about these scenarios? Do you know panic? I think panic is probably going to be the very thing that steals a lot of people's lives, is they're going to be so panicked. They're not going to know what to do. That's why I always text my kids with weird messages like, hey, volcano blows, just make sure you stay sheltered where you are, son. I know they're like, this woman, my one son, will never say nothing. He never does. And then I'll get quiet about it, and I was like, okay, I won't say nothing. And then I won't say that to him. He'll talk to me a little bit. I'll talk to him about his job or whatever, and he'll free flow with me. And then I break loose with that, hey, son, you've been talking to God, right? You know that earthquake is coming. And then he won't talk to me for another week or something. It is what it is, because he don't want to hear it. And that's the sad part. That's what has me like so frustrated, because A, people don't want to hear it. B, which it affects them. That's what gets me the most. But if the watchman warn it, he sees them coming, trouble coming, and he don't say something, then I'd have blood on my hands, because I heard the watchman on the wall make the warning, and I was just downwind from it, so I got the warning, and now I'm trying to share it with everybody else. It's like, hey, the bell went off, because that's what that is. The bells went off. I can't name an exact date or time. I got some speculations as to what date and time, but that's not neither here nor there. The big thing that's here and there is, what will you do in this? If you're in Indiana, your plans is going to be a lot different than those that are in Oklahoma. If you're in California, your plans are going to be different than those in Oklahoma. But if you don't have no plan and you're caught and struck off guard, what then? I think panic is going to be the number one reason why people lose their lives. I think a majority of the people are going to pass away in the first 3 days. And I believe in those first 3 days that a lot of those people are going to pass away because the darkness is going to come in on the land. See it now. That's why all this immigration stuff, they ain't messing with the Asian now, are they? What about the Russians? They're messing with them. There's a lot of them out here on green cards and visas. Making y'all believe they're doing something, huh? I'll be back and warning people. I'm not done talking. I'm just not. I'm frustrated. People gotta start talking about the things that are important. Seriously. Even when it's uncomfortable, you have to. Even when it's uncomfortable.